Someone in my comments said you did a whole analysis and breakdown of Rorschach, who is racist. They would never do the same thing for us. You had made a whole breakdown analyzing him and making excuses for him because of his childhood. Well, I give you a motherfucker that's real, that's black. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had a very similar life growing up as Rorschach. His mother worked the streets. Sometimes while he was in the house, she was working, getting her money, getting it how she get it, right? He said that he was abused and taken advantage of in every way possible when he was coming up. He was called ugly. He was called fat. He found his ways in the streets, started roaming around, started getting more aggressive. His nice and soft nature was starting to leave him. He kept going in and out of jail. Custody Amato found Mike Tyson, built his confidence up, and taught him how to do something that was legal and that he was a monster at. Had Mike Tyson not become a champion boxer, you would not have cared about him. He would have been one of the people that people say usual suspect. They didn't give a fuck about Mike Tyson until he became a champion, until he became an American hero. You wanted somebody to analyze? I gave you one, Mike Tyson. If Rorschach had somebody like Custody Amato that found him and built his confidence up and showed him a different path, he wouldn't have became a sadistic vigilante. Mike Tyson would have been probably in prison, probably a hitman, probably a robber. Who knows what he would have been if it wasn't for Custody Amato. So next time you open your big ass mouth, slack-jawed ass nigga, I already uncovered that too. I talked about how people like John Dillinger and Al Capone, but they don't like black people that do the same thing that they did, right? Had you went through my page and went through my content, you would have seen that. Sorry ass nigga. Feel what I'm saying? Now, next thing I want to talk about is, can people change? Can people really change their mindset and their values? People can change, but I haven't seen many people change, right? The one person that I really admire that changed and did a whole 360 is Malcolm X. He's famous for his change. He was in the streets. He was a gambler. He did all kind of things. And then they had a book that said that he used to sell his wang in his butt. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like the person that made that is a bitch ass nigga for bringing that in the book. But if he did do that, it don't matter. Feel what I'm saying? Because Malcolm X did a full 360. He did a change. And Malcolm X didn't change just once. He changed twice. After he found out that Elijah Muhammad was dirty and conniving and deceptive and doing things that he was preaching against, Malcolm X started going against that. He went to Mecca, learned more about the faith, learned more about the religion, came back. You know what I mean? He was really harsh to white people. After he went to Mecca, he started changing his whole tune. He still believed in the same things he believed in, but he had a more grounded approach, right? Malcolm X. Malcolm X changed the way he ate, the way he spoke, the way he moved, the way he dressed. He had a wife, he had children. They said they even spied on his phone calls and said that he was a family man, right? That's the real you. When you talking on that phone, that's the real you. So when somebody's spying on you and you still a good moral man, that's the real you. Malcolm X did a full 360 change from being a criminal to a nice religious man, a Muslim man, right? And I'm not Muslim, but I respect the Muslim brothers like Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, because of the way they dress, the way they speak, their knowledge, their vocabulary, right? So people can change. And a lot of times people think that, a person did a whole change, but a lot of times that personality been in them. For example, Mike Tyson. They say Mike Tyson is an old wise man now, right? They said back then he was wild and savage. Actually, Mike Tyson back then, though he was wild and savage, he was very smart and wise back then, if you watch his interviews when he was coming up, right? I grew up thinking Mike Tyson was slow. My mama probably think that nigga still slow, right? I didn't have access to YouTube and shit like that. I thought the motherfucker was slow because the way he used to talk. Then he was on which one? Dr. Phil or Oprah Winfrey? He was on one of them shows when I was growing up, and he had Holyfield. They had apologized to each other, and he bit his ear off, and they were telling the story. I said, man, this motherfucker crazy. You know what I mean? A nigga like that is ESC, bite a nigga ear off. That was when I was a kid, watching him on Oprah Winfrey or Dr. Phil. I can't remember which one it was, right? Mike Tyson is not only smart, he's wise. And he's been smart and he's been wise. If you watch his jail interview in the 90s, if you watch when he was coming up, he always had a good vocabulary. He always had a good understanding of human nature and life, right? But he's also from the street. So he's also a boxer. He's also wild. He also likes war. So people are complex. Humans are complex. Humans can change. And a lot of times, humans are always complex. They were always complex. Understand what I'm saying?